Section 201 to 208. Section 201. Power Commissioner and functions of the Commissioner shall have the following powers and functions. A. Exclusive and original jurisdiction to interpret the provisions of this Act in collaboration with the relevant government agencies, subject to review by the Secretary of Finance. B. Exercise any custom powers, directly or indirectly, duties and functions. C. Review any action or decision of any customs officer performed pursuant to the provision of this Act. D. Review and decide disputed as assessment and other matters related thereto, subject to review by the Secretary of Finance and the exclusive appellate jurisdiction of the Court of Tax Appeals. E. Delegate the powers vested under this Act to any customs officer with the rank equivalent to divisionship of higher, except for the following powers and functions. 1. Promulgation of rules and regulations. 2. Issuance, revocation, or modification of rulings. And 3. Compromise or abate of customs obligations. F. Assignment resignment of any customs officer subject to the approval of the Secretary of Finance, provide the district collectors and other customs officers that perform assessment function shall not remain in the same area of assignment for more than 3 years. And G. Perform all other duties and functions as may be necessary for the effective implementation of this Act and other customs-related laws. Section 202. Function of the Bureau. The Bureau shall exercise the following duties and functions. A. Assessment and collection of customs revenues from imported goods and other dues, fees, charges, fines, and penalties occurring under this Act. B. Simplification and harmonization of customs procedures to facilitate movement of goods, international trade. C. Border control to prevent entry of smuggled goods. D. Prevention and suppression of smuggling and other customs fraud. E. Facilitation and security of international trade and commerce through an informed compliance program. F. Supervision and control over the entrance and clearance of vessels and aircraft engaged in foreign commerce. G. Supervision and control control over the handling of foreign mails arriving in the Philippines for the purpose of the collecting revenues and preventing the entry of contraband. H. Supervision and control on all import and export cargoes landed or stored in piers, airports, terminal facilities, including containers yard and the station for the protection of the government revenue and prevention of entry of contraband. I. Conduct a compensation study with the end view of developing and recommending to the President of competitive compensation and the remuni- re- remuni- remuneration system to attract and retain highly qualified personnel while ensuring that the Bureau remains financially sound and sustainable. I. Exercise of exclusive original jurisdiction over forfeiture cases under this Act. And K. Enforcement of this Act and all other laws, rules, and regulations related to customs administration. Section 203. Annual Report of the Commissioners. The Commissioner shall submit to the President, the Congress of the Philippines, and the NEDA annual report on the performance of the Bureau on or before March 31 or the following year. Section 204. Promulgation of rules and regulations. The Commissioner, subject to the approval of the Secretary of Finance, shall promulgate rules and regulations for the enforcement of this Act. The Commissioner shall regularly prepare and publish an updated customs manual and the rules, regulations, and decisions of the Bureau. The Commissioner shall furnish the Congress of the Philippines, the NEDA, and the Tariff Commission with electronic copies of department orders, administrative orders, circulars, and rules and regulations promulgated pursuant to this Act. Section 205. Copies of Goods Declaration. The Commissioner shall regularly furnish the NEDA, the Philippine Statistics Authority, the Bureau of Internal Revenue, and the Tariff Commission electronic copies of all customs goods declaration processed and cleared by the Bureau. Upon request, the Tariff Commission shall have access to and the right to be furnished with copies of liquidated goods declaration and other documents supporting the goods declaration as finally filled in the Commission on Audit. For this purpose, the Bureau shall maintain electronic records of goods declaration and other documents supporting the declaration. Chapter 2. Customs Districts and Ports of Entry. Section 206. Customs Districts. For administrative purposes, the Philippines shall be divided into as many customs districts as necessary, the respective limits of which may be changed from the time to time by the Commissioner with the approval of the Secretary of Finance. Each customs district shall be supervised by one district collector, assisted by the many deputy district collectors as may be necessary. The choice of the location of district office, its business hours, and the staffing pattern thereof shall be based on the particular requirements of each district. Section 207. Ports of Entry. All ports of entry shall be under the supervision and control of Customs District. A district collector shall be assigned in the principal ports of entry, while a deputy district collector may be assigned to other types of ports of entry. The principal ports of entry shall be located Apari, San Fernando, Manila, Manila International Container Port, Ninoy Aquino International Airport, Subic, Batangas, Legazpi, Iloilo, Cebu, Tacloban, Surigao, Cagayan de Oro, Zamboanga, Davao, Limay, and such other ports that may be created pursuant to this act. For the effective enforcement of the Bureau's functions and without hampering business and commercial operations of the ports, seaports and airport authorities and private ports and airport operators shall provide suitable areas for examination and for other customs equipment free of charge within a definite period of time as agreed with private port and airport operations, if any. Section 208. Power of the President to open and close any port. Upon the recommendation of the Secretary of Finance, the President may open or close any port of entry. Upon closure of a port of entry, the existing personnel shall be resigned by the Commissioners subject to the approval of the Secretary of Finance.